Sir Ton, wala man sound, Sir Ton.
Same here, Sir Mon. Okay. All right, let's have the opening prayer to be led by Sir Brian Telempros.
Let us bow down our heads in prayer. We thank you, dear God, for this time you have given us. Look at convened for the orientation of the conduct of 2023 National Achievement Test. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity you have given us to continue serving you and your people here in the Schools Division of Zamboanga del Sur. We ask for your guidance and protection as we continue with the activity. May all our participants be able to grasp all the contents and details of our discussion this afternoon for the smooth conduct of the NAT. We also pray, Father God, for the wisdom to be given to all the facilitators that we could deliver with proper explanation and discussion all the matters at hand. We give you glory and honor in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right. We are very sorry for the inconvenience because this is a live streaming. That's why we cannot really control. This time, ladies and gentlemen, to formally start our orientation, please help me in welcoming our Division Testing Coordinator for the welcome remarks and statement of purpose. Let's give it up for Sir Ton Ganu. Sir Ton?
Okay, so thank you so much, Mikat, for giving me the time to welcome all our participants for this afternoon. But before that, I would like to give the best of my afternoon greetings to our officials in the top management, to start off with our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Janeline A. Aliman, to our two Assistant Schools Division Superintendent who are joining with us this afternoon, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Raymond Salvador, and to Dr. Jerry Sibuquinquito, to the Chief in the CID, Dr. Joy Magallanes, and to our Chief in the SGOD, Dr. Gay Abduhan, to all the education program supervisors, public schools district supervisors, and the school heads of the public and private high schools joining with us this afternoon, and also to our school testing coordinators. And of course, I would like to mention also my companions in this journey. We have with us Kathleen, Sir Jay Fricks, and Sir Brian, and also to John Ray, who takes charge of the technical side of this activity. Good afternoon and welcome to our NAT Grade 10 orientation. So on June 27, 2023, the National Achievement Test intended for Grade 10 shall be administered to all Grades 10 enrollees of public and private schools of the entire country, and that would include our schools division. So in order to administer this assessment smoothly, we need to have this orientation so that any untoward issues will be prevented, since the result of this test would depend largely on how this should be conducted in the testing centers. In this premise, ladies and gentlemen, we are counting on the undivided attention of all of the participants so that we will surely be in one tune of understanding on the processes that will be adhered in order for us to be successful in the test administration. Thank you for the presence of each one. May our virtual fellowship this afternoon will generate maximum understanding for a successful 2023 National Achievement Test for Grade 10. Welcome and mabuhay tayo.
Alright, that was our Division Testing Coordinator. Thank you so much, Sir Tony Ganu. Okay, this time, ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed to the checking of attendance, and let's do this by quality po. Ready na ba ang lahat? Okay, let's start with quality 1. Our participants from quality 1, please hit our chat box and type 1. Please hit our chat box and type 1. Quality 1 participants. Participants from quality 1, please hit our chat box and type 1, the number 1 po. I think you are allowed to type in our chat box. Sir John Ray, di ba pwede silang mag-type sa chat box? Wala pang nagre-respond from quality 1. Where are you, quality 1 participants? Okay, proceed muna tayo sa quality. Okay, meron na. We have Sir Rick. Okay, let's proceed to quality 2. Quality 2 participants, our friends from quality 2, where are you? Please hit our chat box and type the number 2. Number 2. Quality 2 participants, where are you? Our friends from Molave, Salib, quality 2, Ambolig. Okay, we can now see responses from quality 2. Okay, let's proceed to quality 3. Where are you, quality 3 participants? Our friends from quality 3, please type 3, the number 3. Our friends from Aurora, Lambangan, and Tukuran. Quality 3. Hello, quality 3. All right. Quality 4, it's your turn. Please hit our chat box and type number 4 to see if you're in or you're out. Quality 4 participants, where are you? Quality 4 comprises of the municipalities of Pumalarang, Pumalinaw, Bayog, Tigbao, and Lakewood. Quality 4. Nasaan na ang mga taga Quality 4? let's move on to the next Qualcy. Qualcy 5. Qualcy 5. Where are you? Please hit our chat box and type 5. Participants from San Miguel, San Pablo, Vincenzo Sagon Margo sa Tubig, and Kapuyan. Okay. Yun. I can now see your responses po. Thank you so much. Let's proceed to the last policy, policy 6. Please hit our chat box and type 6. Friends from policy 6, it's your time to shine. Policy 6 participants from Tabina, Pitogo, Dinas, Dimataling, and Hipos. Please hit our chat box and type 6. Friends from policy 6, it's your time to shine. Policy 6 participants from
Thank you so much,
Sir Bayani, Pitogo, Dinas, Dimataling, and Hipos. All right. Thank you everyone for participating in our
Thank you so much,
attendance
Sir
check.
Bayani.
Now let's listen to a message from our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Raymond Salvador, CESO 6. Sir Mon?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Ma'am Kat.
All right.
I hope I can be heard.
Thank you everyone
Yes, sir, you
for
are heard.
participating in
Yeah,
our
thanks, Sir
attendance.
Tony. Good afternoon to everyone, to our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Jeneline A. Aleman, CESO 5, to my counterpart, my buddy, Sir Jerry Bukingkito, CESE, the ASDS for District 1, to the two chiefs of the SGOD, Chief Abduhan, to the CID group, Chief Magallanes, to our Division Testing Coordinator, EBS Antonio Ganub, to our SMME Senior Education Program Specialist, Sir J. Frix, then to EPSS 2, baliktad na, Ma'am Kathleen and Sir Brian, to our ITO boys, and to all our PSDSS school heads of the Division of Zamboanga del Sur. And we also like to acknowledge the participation, if we have, from the private schools. It is our deep honor also to make you part of this orientation. As we all know, having the National Achievement Test is one of those avenue, or if we consider it as a tool for us to gauge whether our learners have really mastered the competencies that we're expecting of them in their current grade level. In this case, our grade 10 learners. And most of us, once the results will be out, or once the announcement for the conduct of exam is given, we tend to rattle and try to make sure that we will have a high score in the achievement test. But of course, everybody wants to have a good result. But let us also not forget that achievement test is also a avenue for us to look into the strengths and weaknesses of our learners, to include also our mentors, because the results will not only speak of how they achieve in terms of their competencies, but it will also tell us a story as to how the implementation of education and learning in the classroom is happening. We must also consider that the result of this achievement test would also allow us to craft policies that would help us to give the best instructional supervision, the academic assistance that we can provide. And of course, this would allow us to come up with initiatives on how to monitor the progress of our learners. And as a school manager, our school heads, as our PSDSS and our partners in the private schools, we look at the national achievement test as not a as not it's not a stopping block on our part, because most of us look at the achievement test and it will tell us how we perform, especially if the result is low. It will tell us that we are not performing good, and it will redound to poor teaching quality in our school. But let's look at it at a positive side, that the result that we will be having in this national achievement test will give us that opportunity to be creative in our own way in our respective schools. And I know most of our school managers has that skills and that gift to craft initiatives, to craft interventions to help our learners get a high score when they will be tested in the national achievement test. And I think we have been practicing these different interventions in our respective areas. You have reading interventions, you have interventions for numeracy, and to the point, some of us even conduct home visits to save our learners from dropping out of school. But did we also consider that when we do the achievement test, are our teachers also given the appropriate technical assistance? Because when the national achievement test will be conducted, we're always focusing on the outcome of our learners, but we need also to make sure that those responsible to provide learning to our learners are also given the attention and the right assistance that they need. So that is why we are having this orientation to make sure that the the conduct of the exam will strictly follow what is in the protocol. But again, this is not a new thing, because we have been doing the achievement test for over a decade already. If I remember right, I am one of those pioneer uh, pupils who took the National Elementary Achievement Test way back in the 90s. And this is just being given every year for us to really look into the status of our learners. But as to the policies, the procedures, the manuals, the guidelines, it just gets a tweak every year and now to adjust with the situation that we are having. But the purpose really is for us to gauge the learning of our learners. But what I'm trying to emphasize right now is that every year the results of the NAT will give us a dismay result. No, some of us will end up frustrated because we're expecting a high result. Some of us would even end up blaming each other. Some of us would even point fingers that it's this subject that was performing low. This is because you are not doing enough intervention. You are not doing this. But let's take it as a whole for us to really improve the quality of education in our respective areas. So I hope that our school leaders, our school managers would take this opportunity that that your skills will really be put into test. I have always been sharing this to my colleagues in the office. Ang dami ng research studies, action research that we have been doing on reading, on numeracy, on academic performance. But why is it every time that when we have the national achievement test, we always get the same result, and we seldom have improved results in subject areas that would have a high score? So again, this NAT is a good avenue for us to really test our interventions, not only the intervention of the division, but also the intervention of the schools that you are been doing. And I think this would also be the right time, no? No, it's not preempting the man, but I know we're all aware of this. The National Achievement Test would also be a test for all our graduates in the graduate studies, for those who have finished their masters, their doctorates, to really look into whether the practicability and the usability of your thesis in your dissertation, could it really be adapted in your in your local setting in your school, because most of us are doing studies, again, like I said a while ago, doing academic performances, achievement, reading, numeracy, literacy. Now is the time for us to put this into test, because in our new system of promoting our teachers, we need to also make sure that whatever you are learning in your postgraduate studies are put into action. So it's a challenge if you are taking the NAT, if your school is identified to take the NAT 10 this year, and if your school has a high number of master graduates and even doctorate in your school, and then you will be having a poor performance in the NAT, it's a big question mark. We can question that. We in the top management can question that. What are you doing there? What are you doing in your school? So why do you have this kind of results, especially with the achievement test? So I hope that we look at the NAT as a way for us to improve and better ourselves, but not to look at the NAT as another way that for us to be discouraged that uh, here comes another exam for our learners. It's another burden. We need to do this, we need to do that. And I know what comes into your mind is to conduct review classes, to do a refresher for them to have a high score. But for me, if we take the results wholeheartedly, it would again make us better as a public servant in the Department of Education. So I hope um, with the orientation for the conduct of the 2023, not for grade 10, we will be able to follow the procedures, the guidelines, and the different policies that will be discussed later on by the team. And again, I hope whatever the results will be, whatever experiences that we'll have during the conduct, we'll take it as a way for us to look back in the implementation of our education curriculum, not only in your particular school, but as a whole in the division of Zamboanga del Sur. Because I believe in the division of Zamboanga del Sur, um, we, the educators, we teach with the heart. Di ba? Ano yung mantra natin? Teach with the heart. Sige, hindi ko na i-continue. Kayo na yun. So again, I know everyone is listening and paying attention, although we are having this virtually. I know the division testing coordinator is very knowledgeable when we talk about the conduct of the national achievement test. So should you have any clarification and questions, please do ask for them to guide you better. So to everyone listening, thank you so much for the time. We hope all of you are safe, and may the good Lord bless you always and keep you safe. Again, thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Sir Mon, for your message. Our new mantra is teach with the heart, teach and learn with the heart to be great and smart.
Tama na ba yun?
Yes, Sir Mon. Actually, gisumpayan na mo imong line.
Very good. It means
Alright.
you're starting to with the mantra.
Embrace.
Yeah.
Embrace the
Yeah,
mantra.
correct. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Mon. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, for the Kwame matters, let's welcome the SEPs for School Management Monitoring and Evaluation, Sir J. Fricks Katakutan. Sir, please take your time.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Ma'am Kat. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Raymond M. Salvador, to our Division Testing Coordinator, Dr. Antonio Ganup, and to everyone in the platform, our participants in the field. Once again, good afternoon. I will be giving to you the mechanism for the online evaluation for this virtual activity. So later this afternoon, before we end this virtual orientation, we will be uh, posting the link in the Q&A portion, no? So makikita nyo po doon sa Q&A portion where the link for these activities online evaluation. So you will be in the online evaluation form, you will have to give your significant learning. And the you also give the end of program give the end of program evaluation for the program management, the attainment of objectives. Sir John, kindly please uh, present my the screen that I have that I am sharing right now. Okay, so you'll have to access the link, no? And by the way, we are using the DepEd ZDS portal by Dr. Lito P. Bahian. And again, you will be giving your significant learning for today's activity, for this virtual orientation, and the end of program evaluation for the following: the program management, the attainment of objectives, the delivery of content, the provision of support materials, the program management team, and the online experience that we have. And you also have to give your suggestions or comments to also improve similar programs so that we can also improve, no, the activities such as these virtual activities that we are doing, no. So again, later this afternoon we will be posting the link for this online the online evaluation for this activity, and that would be all. Thank you very much, and once again, good afternoon po.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Jfix. I hope everybody is listening. And time check, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think we are now set to start the orientation proper, and I'm proud to give you our first facilitator for this orientation, our division testing coordinator, Sir Antonio Ganu. Sir Ton? Sir Ton, some of our participants are requesting if you can um, turn on your camera so they can also see you. Okay, thank you so much, Sir Tony.
Okay na. Okay, so thank you so much again, Ma'am Kat, for giving me this time to do the first presentation that we have prepared for this afternoon. If you have to check our attendees, no, as of this time we have 186 no present virtually in the MS Teams and only 17 from YouTube. But whether 17 in YouTube, but we are having good number in MS Teams. So I believe that this number would warrant and contribute to the success of this convergence. So let's start off with the first presentation of this afternoon. This is the orientation and the administration of the National Achievement Test for grade 10. So we will start from the guidelines on the administration of the National Achievement Test for grade 10. And I am hoping that all of us are having with you your ball pen, and you also have your notebook to jot down the important things that will be presented this afternoon. Although we will be providing you with a soft copy of the orientation materials, but it is much better if you have to jot down notes so that we can easily remember the things that will be presented, especially those things that are of great importance and contributory to the success of administering the 2023 NAT grade 10. So we'll start from the guidelines. The administration of the NAT grade 10 for school year 22-2023, this will be administered in the respective schools on June 27, 2023. Take note, this is June 27, 2023, and this particular date is non-negotiable. So this will really be conducted on June 27, 2023, and this is in accordance to DepEd Order number 55, series of 2016. And this particular DepEd order is entitled Policy Guidelines on the National Assessment of Student Learning for the K-12 Basic Education Program, and also DepEd Order number 34, series of 2022, the school calendar and activities for the school year 2022-2023. So this National Achievement Test for grade 10 will be administered to sample grade 10 learners in all public and private schools. So if you can see, the font of the sample grade 10 learners' words are in blue. This is emphasized because it is telling us that not all the grade 10 shall be included as examinees. No, only sample grade 10 learners. And the manner of how to get this sample will be discussed later by Sir J. Fricks. So I am just telling you this in advance so that you already be having a mindset that only sample grade 10 learners shall join with this NAT grade 10 on June 27, 2023, and the modality that will be used in administering this test is paper-based modality. So meaning to say, you will be getting again the test materials in the schools division office and bring that to your respective schools because it is not computer-based, but it is paper-based modality. So not grade 10, this is another exit assessment that is designed to determine if the grade 10 learners are meeting the learning standards of the junior high school curriculum. The same with the DAT. No, ang DAT din was conducted, and if we can still remember, the Division of Achievement Test, one of the target year level of the Division Achievement Test was also grade 10. So the thing that we did during the DAT is one way or the other can be considered as one of the preparations for our grade 10 for this NAT, no, grade 10. So it seems that this year, ang grade 10 natin may pagdadaanan na tatlong assessment. Ang una sa DAT, nasundan ng RAT, and then ngayon by June 27, they will be taking the NAT, no, National Achievement Test for grade 10. So the test shall cover the 21st century skills using learning areas as content in English, Filipino, mathematics, science, and araling panlipunan. So the Department of Education must identify and articulate the performance indicators and outcomes for measuring the performance in the development of plans and policies as per DepEd Order number 29, series of 2022. So, and this DepEd Order is the adoption of the Basic Education Monitoring and Evaluation Framework. That is DO number 29, series of 2022. So, I will now be presenting to you the overview of the NAT Grade 10 Primer. The overview of the NAT Grade 10 Primer. So what you can see on screen right now is the cover of the primer, the primer of this NAT Grade 10. So this primer contains many things that are essential for us to adhere so that the process of administering the test will be followed, and the effect of it is we can get a reliable result because we are conducting the test in a manner that are expected of us. So what are the contents of this primer? We have first the introduction. Then we can also see inside the primer the objectives. Then we have the test design. We also have the test administration, the answer sheet, the scoring and proficiency level, the sample results of the NAT grade 10 conducted last school year 2018 and 2019. And we also have the sample items that will be utilized by the schools in conducting review sessions in preparation for the actual conduct of the test. So I will just be presenting to you how the primer would look like, but rest assured that we will be giving you to include, no, included in the resource materials is the primer, and that will be given to you in one package, and we will forward that after we will be conducting this orientation this afternoon. So, introduction. Per DepEd Order number 55 series of 2016, the results of NAT grade 10 shall be utilized. So what is then the purpose of conducting the test? And what shall we do with the result of the test? So it is stated here that the result of the NAT grade 10 shall be utilized to determine if learners are meeting the learning standards. So that is the first reason why we need to conduct this NAT grade 10, to determine if learners are meeting the learning standards and to help provide information to improve instructional practices and to assess or evaluate effectiveness and efficiency of education service delivery using learning outcomes as indicators and provide empirical information as basis for curriculum, as basis for learning delivery, assessment, and policy reviews and policy information. So among the purposes that are mentioned in this slide, wala talagang mabasa natin doon that the result of the test will be used to rank the performance of the school. So let's take note of that. Just like what we did in the division achievement test, that we are not using the result to rank the performance of the school, but we are conducting the test to determine if our learners are meeting the learning standards as expected of them before they will be moving forward to grade 11 next year. So as per DepEd Order number 29 series of 2017, NAT grade 10 is part of DepEd's internal system assessment. So it has the purpose of generating reliable data. So when we will speak of reliable data, that is the data that we will be generating from the result of this test. So it should be reliable kung ano talaga yung performance ng bata for use in planning, to be used in monitoring and evaluation cycles of our department. So the DepEd offices are directed to organize advocacy activities that will lead to understanding and acceptance of and support for participation in national and international large-scale assessments among teachers, among administrative personnel, students, and education stakeholders. So, for the objectives, objective is to provide an overview of the test design, test administration, scoring, and assessment data, data utilization for NAT grade 10. And also, this will be used to provide greater awareness to the DepEd field offices and schools on national assessments, to facilitate school-based rapid assessment of learning gaps. Since we have experienced this learning loss due to the threat of COVID-19, and also to design regional, division, and school-level interventions. So whatever might be the result of the school, the data the data that we can get from this particular assessment will be used as basis for the school to initiate interventions to improve the performance of the learners. and also to ensure that the national level and school level assessments are aligned and identify complementary quality standards for holistic evaluation and education quality. So, to provide information to different stakeholders and to appreciate the role of assessment in the continuous improvement of basic education services. Again ha, to provide information to stakeholders and to appreciate the role of assessment in the CI, no, continuous improvement of basic education services. So this NAT grade 10, it has been mentioned already in the previous slide that this would cover the 21st century skills. So what are these 21st century skills? That would include problem solving, critical thinking, and information literacy. I believe that all of us are already aware of what are these skills are all about. So we need to develop these skills into our learners so that they will become productive and functional citizens when they grow up in their chosen, in the future, no, in their chosen career in the future. So it is test design also is progressive in nature. It contains multiple choice format and it uses in Filipino and English language. And the learning areas to be tested are English, Science, Mathematics, Filipino, and ARPAN, Araling Panlipunan. So for test design still, so the test items are constructed and validated based on sub-skills and progression indicators which are presented in the following tables. So for problem solving, the sub-skill, we have the first column are the sub-skills and the second are the progression indicator. For analyzing outcome as one of the sub-skills, it includes the identify association, identify cause and effect, and predict outcomes. So for the second sub-skill, which is executing strategy or methods, it would includes identification strategy or method, select appropriate methods to solve the problem, and identify alternative methods to solve the problem. And for understanding the problem itself as one of the sub-skill, it would generate hypothesis about the problem, modify hypothesis to other problems, and generalize hypothesis to other problems. For information literacy, in terms of ability to manage information, the students are expected that they should know how to classify information. They should know how to organize structure of the classification and the sequence of the information. And for them to have this sub-skill as ability to identify types of information, the students are expected to develop this indicator as to acknowledge the different types of information. They should know how to present required information when explicitly asked and interpret questions or forms to provide appropriate information. And for the ability to communicate information, they should also be well versed in presenting information in another medium, and they should know how to organize information in another medium and reorganize or sequence the information. For critical thinking, that would include these sub-skills. First is analyzing the relevance or analyzing relevance. And for this, the progression indicator for this sub-skill is that students are expected to identify that there is a different information, differentiate between relevant and irrelevant information, and draw on relevant information only. So for evaluating sources as one of the sub-skills, the students in this sub-skill are expected to know how to identify the source of information, how to evaluate the credibility of the source, and how to develop the criteria for evaluation of the source. That is for evaluating sources as one of the sub-skills in critical thinking. For using evidence to formulate an argument, no, the indicator for this is the students are expected to know how to state evidence. They are expected to link evidence to the argument, and they are expected to draw a conclusion based on various evidence. The test, uh, in terms of test administration, this particular test shall be administered to grade 10 learners for school year 2022-2023, and this would cover students from public and private school. But it was emphasized during our orientation, national orientation conducted last week, that for those private schools who already have their closing exercises prior to June 27, they will no longer be included. Their students will no longer be included to take the test. And that particular information is being indicated in the division memorandum issued last week in paragraph number 2, that for private schools to grade 10 and private schools na nag-closing na before 27, they will no longer be required to take the test. So I hope that is clear. So again, this particular test shall be conducted using paper-based, this shall be administered through physical or paper-based administration, meaning the test will be participated by students on site. This will not be conducted online. So for the test accommodations for examinees with special needs must be provided, no? And that is found in Section 9 of DepEd Order 55 Series of 2016. I hope that all of us are cleared already, are already cleared in terms of manners relating to the test administration. So the answer sheet. Answer sheets are scannable, and that will be used to record examinees' responses. So before the examination, teachers should inform the examinees that they need to supply personal information like the name, the learner reference number, the birth date, their age, sex, school ID, region and division codes. For school ID, I believe that all of us are aware already of our respective school IDs. Region and division codes shall be presented later. No, I hope that you will be jotting this down so that during the actual conduct of the test, no, you are already aware of our region and division codes. Types of community, this will be discussed later. Type of school, the number of shifts per day, the class size, the third quarter grades. So I am informing our school principals to prepare the third quarter grades of our sampled examinees, because this is one of the data that will be provided in the answer sheets, no? So we also have the grade or grades repetition. It also asks whether the examinee is a four-piece recipient, whether the examinee is also GASP grantee, or the examinee is an indigenous people, belongs to the indigenous people group, or it might be that the examinee is a SPED or special education needs. So still for the answer sheet, now it is expected that at the end of the examination, the room examiners should ensure. Who are these room examiners? This will be, the room examiners shall be assigned by the respective public schools district supervisors. Ang PSDS na ang mag-assign ng room examiners to the respective testing centers. So the room examiners should ensure that all answer sheets are free from any erasures. Dapat walang erasures ang answer sheets. Examinees are supplying the necessary information, the information that has been mentioned in the previous slide. The answer sheets shall be electronically processed. The normative data using the measure of standard deviations are computed based on the mean percentage score. And the results are presented by levels of progression, and the proficiency level is at least 75%. This is now the range no of the mean percentage score. So if the MPS is 90 to 100%, so your level of proficiency is highly proficient. So if in case the MPS is ranging from 75 to 89, the level is proficient. 50 to 74, nearly proficient. 25 to 49, low proficient. And if your MPS is 0 up to 24, so your level of proficiency is not proficient. So that ends my first session for this afternoon. I believe that I still be back in a while for another presentation. But for now, I have to turn over the time to our moderator, Ma'am Kat.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Tony, for that very comprehensive discussion. Virtual claps for Sir Tony. Okay, so let's now proceed to the next facilitator, and I believe it's me. Allow me to share my screen po, ladies and gentlemen. Am I projecting, Sir John?
Yes, you are.
Wow. All right, so earlier, Sir Tony Ganub discussed about the guidelines on the administration of the NAT for grade 10 and a short overview of the primer. So my task this afternoon is to discuss to you the testing personnel of the NAT grade 10, what are their roles and responsibilities. And of course, I will also be discussing breach of security in national examinations and corresponding sanctions. So let's start with who are these testing personnel and what are their roles and responsibilities in the conduct of the NAT. So here they are. We have a representative from the BEA. We also have the regional testing coordinator, division testing coordinator, private school supervisor, chief examiner, supervising examiner, room examiner, school testing coordinator, and of course, our support staff. Iisa-isahin po natin ang kanilang mga roles and responsibilities. First is the BEA representative. Ano ba yung role ng representative from BEA? He or she shall monitor and supervise the test administration in the assigned division. So we have a representative from the BEA. Next is the regional testing coordinator. He or she shall oversee the administration of the test in the region. He shall provide division offices the list of private schools operating with permit that are to be included in the test. He or she shall prepare a team to monitor the test in the whole region po. That's our regional testing coordinator. Next. Okay. Our division testing coordinator. Everybody knows it's Sir Tony Ganub. He is our division assessment coordinator. He will supervise the administration of the test in the public schools. Next is private school supervisor. In the case of this division, we don't have a private school supervisor. Instead, we have a private schools coordinator, and that's me. So I will supervise the administration of the test in private schools. Next is the chief examiner. The school head in each school shall serve as the chief examiner and shall oversee the conduct of the test in the school. Take note po, our school heads are the chief examiners of the National Achievement Test on June 27. So, ano ba yung role and responsibility ng isang chief examiner? During the pre-test activities, our chief examiner keeps the confidentiality of the test materials. Our test booklets are stored in a secured room. Test boxes are opened on examination day. Yun po. It was emphasized that boxes are to be opened on the examination day. The chief examiner will require every room examiner to count the test booklets while plastic bags are still sealed. What else? Facilitate the signing of Form 3 by our room examiner. Then during the test proper, ito po yung mga role and responsibility ng chief examiner natin. He will accomplish the forms 4, 5, and 6, and aside from that, he will also be monitoring the testing staff activities. During the post-test activities, our chief examiner is responsible in the accounting of materials. He or she will collect and account all the ETRES assisted by the school testing coordinator or the school examiner. Arrange and bundle them accordingly, seeing to it that the number of ETRES tallies with the number of testing rooms. A report on the number of ETRES should accompany the bundle. Yun, dapat nagko-coincide yung mga numbers natin. Return to their original plastic bags all used and unused TBs or the test booklets with serial numbers arranged consecutively. These should be resealed by stapling the open end of the plastic bag. So you will be using staplers po. Okay. Aside from that, during the post-test activities, our chief examiner shall place inside the set tray the following materials after accomplishing the transmittal report. Our unused answer sheets, the BEA Form 3, Form 4, and the school header. Then, the school testing coordinator prepares the list of actual examinees and accomplishes the BEA Forms 5 and 6, and all to be submitted to the DTC or the Division Testing Coordinator following the instructions. Then submit to DTC Forms 5 and 6 separately. All right. Next is our supervising examiner. So our SE shall monitor and supervise the rooms assigned to them. They shall conduct ocular inspection the day before the test. Take note po, the day before the test. So that would be June 26 because our test would be on June 27. So of course, that's to familiarize themselves with the layout of the school. And here are the roles and responsibilities of our room examiners. Our room examiners shall conduct the test in accordance with the standardized test administration guidelines. During the distribution, he or she shall receive the test booklets and answer sheets, count the TBs from the sealed plastic bags, and sign the Form 3. During the examination proper, our room examiner shall post the replica of the name grid and the test coverage. Don't worry po, we will be giving you soft copies of these materials. You are also to give the general directions, our room examiners, then distribute the answer sheets, then the test booklets. Check if name grid, LRN, and other information in the answer sheets are properly shaded. Aside from that, our room examiners shall also facilitate in accomplishing the Form 2 by our examinees, then administer the test using the EH. All right. During the examination proper, our room examiner shall keep custody of the excess TBs in original plastic bags while the test is in progress and the test items are not read by the room examiner. So this will be discussed later po. With sanctions, ayan, DepEd Order number 55 Series 2016. Then our room examiner will also be accomplishing forms 1 and 7. He or she will retrieve the test booklets, check the contents of the etre, the used answer sheets arranged consecutively by examinee number, board work, forms 1, 2, and 7. Then seal the etre while still in the examination room. During the retrieval phase, our room examiner shall submit the examiner's handbook, sealed etre, and the consecutively arranged test booklets to be properly accounted for by the chief examiner, the school head. Retain the replica of the name grid in the guidance office. So you will no longer be including the name grid in the envelope po. Yun. Next is our school testing coordinator. What is his role? He or she shall assist the chief examiner in the overall conduct of the test. That's why you really need to identify a school testing coordinator. Then our support staff, they shall provide any test-related assistance to the school head, such as preparation of the rooms. Yun. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko, the breach of security in national examinations and corresponding sanctions as stated in Section 13 of the DepEd Order number 55, Series 2016. So the following acts are deemed as violation or infractions of security pertaining to national examinations. First is reading of test booklets other than by the examinee. So our room examiners, chief examiners are not allowed to read the test booklets. Only the examinees are allowed to read the test booklets po. Please remind your staff. Next, supplying answers to examinees. That's prohibited. Third is cheating, of course. Fourth, plagiarizing, loss of test booklets, photocopying of test booklets, capturing test items through electronic gadgets, distribution and posting of photos of the test booklet in any form of media. Yung iba kasi nagtitake ng photo, then upload it later, done. Not cheaten, done. So bawal po yun. Opening the test materials prior to testing schedule. Then number 10, late submission of the test booklets and answer sheets. Tampering of examinees' answer sheets, infringement of copyright, allowing imposters and substitute examinees, misrepresentation with regard to age, residence, and status. Then number 15, failure to closely monitor the test procedures resulting in test irregularities. Yun. So, what if may magawa tayong kahit isa dito? Any or all of the sanctions will be imposed on the aforementioned violations committed by the following if examinee, first and second offenses po, reprimand. Third offense, cancellation of the test papers and invalidation of the test results. The degree of violation and corresponding sanction shall be determined by the chief examiner. If you are a testing personnel, ito po yung mga sanction mo. Suspension of salaries and incentives or benefits of those concerned for 1 to 3 months. Aside from that, can also be suspended from work. In the case of infringement of copyright, legal remedies will be considered. Then the degree of violation and corresponding sanction shall be determined by our school's division superintendent. I think that would be all. If you have questions and queries, please park them for a while because we will be entertaining questions after all the presentations have been presented. Thank you for your undivided attention. Virtual claps for Ma'am Kath. Wait lang. Stop sharing. Okay. Thank you everyone for listening. Now I think our next facilitator is ready to present his topic. Let's all welcome our Education Program Specialist for Human Resource Development Section, Sir Brian Telempos. Sir Brian, please take your time.
Thank you, Ma'am Kat. Thank you, Ma'am Kat. Um, my part is to discuss to us the National Achievement Test Grade 10 Examiner's Handbook. So I am inviting everyone's attention to focus on the details about this handbook so that we will be properly guided in the conduct of our NAT this year. Okay, so this handbook is intended for those involved in the administration of the NAT for grade 10 learners. So the persons who are involved in the conduct of the NAT is the BEA representative, the regional testing coordinator, of course, Ton, the division testing coordinator. We have also the private school or division testing coordinator assistant. In our case, it is Ma'am Kathleen Padilla, who is our designated division coordinator for the for the private school. We also have our chief examiner, the supervising examiner, the room examiner, school testing coordinator, and the support staff. All right, so let's have a closer look on the workflow, which will be handled by the chief examiner. So for the pre-test activities, the chief examiner should keep the confidentiality of the test materials. The test booklets are stored in a secured room, and the test boxes are only opened on the examination day. We would like to emphasize this one, that test boxes can only be opened on the examination day. And then the chief examiner shall require every room examiner to count the test booklets while the plastic bags are still sealed. All right. So if prior to opening the test book, I mean the plastic bags, the test booklets inside the plastic bags should be counted first while the plastic bags are still sealed. And then he or she shall also facilitate the signing of Form 3 by the RE or the room examiner. And during the test proper, the chief examiner shall accomplish Forms 4, 5, and 6, and at the same time, he or she shall also monitor the testing staff activities. After the conduct of the exam, the chief examiner shall collect and account all the examiner test result in envelopes assisted by the STCs and the SEs. So pag sinabi nating STC, that's nasaan na yun eh. STC, it's the school testing coordinator, and ang SE is supervising examiner. Yun. And then the chief examiner shall return to their original plastic bags all used and unused test booklets with serial numbers arranged consecutively. This should be resealed by stapling the open end of the plastic bag. And then he also will place inside the CETRE or the chief examiner test result envelopes the following materials after accomplishing the chief examiner's transmittal report. Test. It's transmittal report and used answer sheets, the BEA Form 3, BEA Form 4, and the school header. The STC prepares the list of actual examinees and accomplishes the BEA Forms 5 and 6, and all to be submitted to the DTC or the Division Training Testing Coordinator following the instructions, and finally submits to the DTC Forms 5 and 6 separately. And attention to all the room examiners. These are the tasks that you'll be doing. For the distribution room, he will receive the test booklets and the answer sheets. He will also count the test booklets from the sealed plastic bags and will sign the Form 3. That will all be done in the distribution room. In the examination room, the room examiner will post the replica of the name grid and the test coverage. He will also give the general directions, will distribute the answer sheets, then the test booklets. Again, the first to be distributed will be the answer sheets and then followed by the test booklets. The room examiner will check if the name grid, LRN, and other information in the answer sheets are properly shaded. So this will be done, no, in the examination room while the examinees or those who will take the NAT 10, the NAT for grade 10, the room examiner will actually check if the answer sheets are properly shaded for the name grid, LRN, and other information required. The room examiner will facilitate in accomplishing the Form 2 by examinees and will also administer the test using the EH. And then the room examiner will keep custody of the excess test booklets in original plastic bags while the test is in progress and the test items are not read by the room examiner. Okay, may mga sanctions po ito based on DepEd Order number 55 series of 2016. So, kailangan talaga nating ma-maintain ang confidentiality of the test materials. So, accomplishes Form 1 and Form 7 will retrieve the test booklets and will check the contents of the ETRE and then we'll arrange, no, the answer sheets. Yung mga nagamit na mga answer sheets shall be arranged consecutively by examinee number, yung board work, forms 1, 2, and 7. And right after all these documents are done and properly put into place, the room examiner will seal the ETRE while still in the examination room. Ibig sabihin po, hindi po pwedeng dalhin sa labas ang mga itong mga test result, yung mga envelopes na pinaglalagyan ho ng mga documents na hindi pa nakasealed. Lahat ay isi-sealed while nasa loob pa ng examination room. And right after the examination, doon na tayo sa distribution room. Balik tayo, no, from distribution to examination room and then to the retrieval phase dito sa distribution room. Ang room examiner will submit the examiner's handbook, sealed ETRE, and the consecutively arranged test booklets to be properly accounted for by the chief examiner. And then will retain the replica of the name grid in the guidance office. Okay, malinaw po ito na yung replica po ng name grid ay hindi isasauli because ito ay iiwanan sa loob ng guidance office. Okay. Next, this is now the board work for the pretest activities. The room examiner shall write the parts of the test on the board or on a manila paper, including the time the test has started and the time it will be finished as shown. So may guide na naman po. So you have to write this on the board or you can also write this in a manila paper and post it on the board. So may mga time allocation per subject or learning area and may mga number of items din po na nakastipulate and the time limit in every part of the exam. So nakalagay na dyan, only that the room examiner should indicate the time started and the time ended per part of the test. For example, for the directions, for the general directions and sample items, kailangan lagyan ng time started and then kailangan ilagay din po yung time ended. Hanggang sa last subject, which is English. Note, use the same board work for the afternoon session. Okay, so yun po. Let's have entrance and seating arrangement. Very important din po na arrange ng maayos itong ating mga examinees. May flow, may guide naman po na nakalagay dito sa manual and you have to follow this very strictly, no. The room examiner shall inspect the seating arrangement before instructing the examinees to enter the testing room. There should be 6 rows of armchairs or 3 rows of desks. In the rows of desks, the first desk from the right, when the room examiner faces the class, are rows 1 and 2. And the second desk are rows 3 and 4. and the third desks are rows 5 and 6. Two students shall be seated in each desks. Again, kapag ang ginagamit sa loob ng classroom ay desks, ito yung arrangement. Kapag armchairs naman, dapat talaga naka 6 rows siya. The room examiner shall instruct the examinees to line up outside the room in alphabetical order of the surnames. Okay, so hindi po tatawagin sila isa-isa to get inside the classroom, but they have to line up outside the classroom arranged in alphabetical order of their surnames. Kapag magsisimula na, they will automatically get inside the classroom in that order. The room examiner shall instruct them to enter the room also in alphabetical order of their surnames. Let the first 6 examinees occupy the front line first, then the second until the last line as shown below. So hindi na tayo mahihirapan kung paano ba talaga i-arrange ang ating testing areas or rooms because the guide is also provided to you. Okay, so in all case, shall there be more than 30 examiners in a room? 30 lang po yung maximum. The room examiner shall check the attendance by calling out the names of the examinees from the list in BEA Form 1, list of examinees prepared by the school principal testing coordinator. Pag nasa loob na sila, diba, naka-arrange man niya sila sa labas. So, to ensure that all of them are actually inside now, so kailangang tawagin sila by their names. Now, the room examiner shall check the identities of the examinees inside each examination room by all means. Okay, so kailangan masiguro natin na ang talagang identified to take the exam are the ones inside the testing rooms. Wala pong ipinalit, wala pong mga misidentities or yung mga replacements, hindi po pwede yon. So what are you going to do? You can use IDs as reference or notebooks bearing the examinee's names or whatsoever na available po. Following procedure, counter-check the identity through the ID. If ID is not available, ask the examinee to present a notebook or any belonging na may pangalan na nakalagay. Okay? In the absence of requirements for A and B, identification materials, pwede ding itanong ng tawag dito ng room examiner sa kanyang katabi or classmate to attest the identity of that said examinee. And then the room examiner shall then instruct the examinees to turn off their digital devices, such as mobile phones, smartwatches, and put them in their bags. Their bags should be placed in front under the board upon entrance. Ang pwede lang po nilang ilagay sa kanilang mga desks or armchairs are pencils, sharpener, and a clean sheet of paper. Okay, so yun lang po ang allowed during the exam. Orientation of the examinees. After the examinees are seated and all chairs are cleared, eto na, may mga sasabihin itong si room examiner, like good morning or bye, ganyan. So may mga detailed points po na ipa-follow. Ito, read the following slowly and clearly. You will answer. Ito yung mga instructions na ibibigay ng ating room examiner sa lahat ng magte-take ng exam. So hindi na natin to isa-isahin. You can just have to follow this one when you are already there. And then after you have read the guidelines, allow examinees to go out if necessary before finally distributing the materials. Okay, again, kapag bago officially magsisimula yung exam, you can allow them to go out kung kailangan nilang mag-visit sa comfort room or kung may kailangan silang kunin sa labas. But once the materials are already distributed, they are not anymore allowed to go outside. Not unless if it is emergency. Okay, so when distributing the test booklets and answer sheets, you have to cut with a pair of scissors or a blade one end of the plastic bags containing the test booklets and the other with the answer sheets. You have to check their quantities to see if these are accurate and not tampered. So kailangan din nating i-check na kasi maglalagay tayo ng mga remarks or notations kapag ang na-receive natin ng mga plastic bags are already tampered or bukas na or may mga sira. Okay? And then each examinee will have one test booklet and one answer sheet. In the distribution, follow the numbering of examinees shown on page 5. Doon kanina, di ba, may mga arrangement tayo. So dapat ganun din ang pagkakasunod-sunod ng distribution ng materials. Start with number 1 by giving him or her with test booklets and answer sheets with the lowest serial number, and end with the examinee in number 30 giving the highest serial number. Seats of latecomers, absentees should be left vacant. Ibig sabihin po, for example, in the sequence, yung examinee number 2 ay hindi pa available, hindi pa nakarating on the time na pumasok na ang mga examinees, hindi po pwedeng si number 3 ang uupo sa number 2. And then follow na lahat, hindi pa pwedeng ganon. The vacant seat, the seat for examinee number 2 na hindi pa nakarating or absent should always be left vacant. However, the test materials should not be distributed if there are only less than 10 examinees in the room. Again, allocated to the examinees should be placed inside the original plastic bag by the room examiner pending their arrival. Okay, kapag hindi pa sila nakarating, hindi muna ibibigay. Hindi natin pwedeng ilagay doon sa desk waiting for the examinee. Ang materials ay should not be distributed pag hindi pa if there are only less than 10 examinees in the room. So ibig sabihin, out of 30, kung 10 pa lang or less than 10 yung available, hindi pa nakarating yung iba. So hindi pa tayo pwedeng magsimulang mag-distribute ng mga materials. Okay? Yun. And then for checking of the test booklets and answer sheets, after each examinee has received the materials, ito yung sasabihin. Pwede ding mag-pause, wait until everybody is done, and then say, may mga, actually given na naman yung mga pwedeng sabihin natin while giving or distributing or checking the test booklets and answer sheets. So hindi na tayo mahihirapan. So in the filling in of information in the answer sheets, the answer sheet is composed of 2 pages. Ito din yung sasabihin. Ito din yung mga number of items. Ito din yung number of circles na kailangan talagang makikita doon sa kanilang mga answer sheets. So we can really be guided very well by study lang natin tong mga sasabihin natin. We'll just have to go over this one prior to starting the exam. And then, ito pa. For the learner reference number, kailangan sabihin natin itong blacken the circle corresponding to your, I believe naman kasi grade 10 na sila, they have already the orientation on how to blacken or how to perform the exam. So kapag blackening yung mga circles yung gagamitin natin na procedure. So at least kailangan pa din natin silang i-remind by giving them the instructions properly and clearly. Okay, so yun. Every part talaga, every information na kakailanganin natin, may given instructions na nakailangan lang nating sabihin. So, hindi na tayo mahihirapan dyan. Ayan. So, number of shifts per day, meron yan. If 4-piece recipients, meron din. So, lahat talaga ng part na sasabihin natin na kailangan nating bigyan ng instructions, may ibinigay na din na part dyan sa ating test booklets. Okay, for post-test, eto na, preparing the reports and sealing of the ETRE. Do the following activities. Una, the room examiner shall accomplish Form 7. The room examiner's report form. Okay, so the RE shall copy the board work on a separate sheet and then shall indicate in the ETRE the number of registrants and the number of actual examinees. So magkaiba yung number of registrants, ibig sabihin, these are the number of expected takers and the other one is the number of actual takers. So kailangang maklaro sa atin yan. And then the RE shall place the following inside the room examiner's transmittal report envelope. Una, yung board work. Number 2, yung nagamit na answer sheets dapat naka-arrange consecutively by examinee number placed in original plastic bag. So kanina minention natin na once sealed na sila dapat naka-staple sila kasi wala naman tayong sealer sa ating mga testing rooms. Dapat naka-stapler or naka-staple yung opening ng plastic bag. And then 1 copy of BEA forms 1 and 2 back-to-back and Form 7. Ito yung dapat na i-prepare at nakalagay sa ETRE. And then the room examiner shall seal the ETRE and the DepEd BEA paper tape while still inside the examination room. So kapag during the distribution of materials, kabilang doon ang paper tape, so or kung wala at ma-provide naman natin yung paper tape, so yun, the room examiner shall seal the ETRE with the DepEd BEA paper tape. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo pwedeng gumamit ng sarili nating paper tape. May DepEd BEA paper tape talaga na gagamitin na to ensure that yung gagamitin nating pang-seal ay talagang from DepEd. Yun. And then turning over of materials to the chief examiner. Turn over to the chief examiner the following materials. Number 1, yung sealed ETRE with its contents. Kaya naman, please, mga room examiners, bago tayo mag-seal, kasi gagamit tayo ng DepEd BEA paper tape seal, kailangan kompleto na lahat ng mga material sa loob ng tawag dito, ng ETRE. Kasi hindi na natin pwede itong buksan kapag na-seal na. Used and unused test booklets assembled together and arranged consecutively by serial numbers packed in their original plastic bags, retaining the batch slip inside the plastic bag. Ito talaga minsan yung nakakalimutan natin kasi maliit lang na papel itong batch slip, but it is required to be placed back to the plastic bag. Yung batch slip. And then, examiner's handbook. Kailangan isauli din. And then accounting of materials by the chief examiner. So attention lahat ng mga CEs. Ito yung mga gagawin. Kailangan i-collect and i-account lahat ng mga ETREs, i-arrange and bundle them accordingly, seeing to it that the number of ETREs tallies with the number of testing rooms. Okay? So dapat mag-coincide itong mga numbers ng tallies at saka ng testing rooms. A report on the number of ETREs should accompany the bundle. Okay? And then counts the TBs per pack retrieved from each examiner with the assistance of the SE or the supervising examiner. The open end of the plastic bag must be resealed by tape or stapler. So paulit-ulit nating sinasabi to na. Okay, sayo-sayo na lang din tayo kasi 3 o'clock ngayon. Places inside the CETRE or the chief examiner's TRE is the following materials after accomplishing adungop. Alright. So ano yung mga ilalagay ng chief examiner sa kanyang transmittal report envelope? Itong unused sa kanyang report mismo. Unused answer sheets with serial numbers arranged consecutively. BEA Form 3 test materials accounting form. BEA Form 4 chief examiner's report form and the school header. May mga additional instructions pa. Ito, separate the two forms by cutting the perforated lines. Fill out the needed data in both forms. Until, you have to do the same with the Form 6, but all of Form 6 will be placed in the first box of the division's boxes for the AS or the answer sheets. And then right after that, kapag kumpleto ng lahat ng mga reports, lahat ng mga materials ay talagang on the proper placements na, packing of test materials na yung gagawin. The following materials are for submission to the division office. Una, bundles of CETREs placed in the original boxes. Next, bundles of used and unused TBs sealed in plastic bags and placed in the original boxes. BEA Form 5 test booklet quantity and completeness verification sheet to be inserted in box number 1 on top of the test booklets. We have also the BEA Form 6, examiner's handbook, and also the enlarged replicas of the name grid shall be retained in the school's testing centers for future use. Again, talagang hindi isa sa uli yung replica, bagos pwede itong iwan sa guidance office. Okay. Okay, naka-attach naman itong mga annexes like BEA Form 1, BEA Form 2, and then BEA Form 3, Form 5, 6, 7. So yun ang contents ng ating handbook, no, sa etong NAT Grade 10 Examiners Handbook. Okay, so proceed na ako, Ma'am Kat, sa next. Okay, I will proceed immediately, no, para matapos na itong dito na tayo sa NAT Grade 10 forms. Okay, very critical ito, kaya so we are actually asking for your undivided attention for this part. Okay, sandali. Selection of grammar. For All right, so we're back. Okay, let's now have that chat, the NAT Grade 10 forms. Ito na. There. All right, here we go. So this is now BEA Form 1, which is the list of actual examinees. Ito yung gagamitin ng ating mga room examiners to list down the examinees. And for Form 2, the seat plan. So kanina na ipakita na naman natin kung paano gagawin kapag desks or armchairs ang available sa testing rooms. As long as alam natin kung ilan lahat talaga ang maximum allowable number of examinees in the class. That's 30. Hindi pwedeng more than 30. And then Form 3, the test materials accounting form. Attention sa lahat ng mga room examiners. Ito yung gagamitin natin in order for us to put in detail, no, lahat ng mga information ng mga materials na ibinigay natin sa bawat examinee. Nakalagay dyan yung examinee number of test booklets, inclusive serial numbers, signature of room examiner. Ibig sabihin, bawat isa, no, di ba kasi nakalagay sa second column, name in print of room examiner. So this will be accomplished by the chief examiner, no? So ilalagay niya diyan kung yung pangalan ng room examiner, exam room number of test booklets na ibinigay, inclusive serial numbers ng mga test booklets, signature ng room examiner na tumanggap ng materials, and then after, no, kapag during sa retrieval phase, dito ilalagay naman ni chief examiner kung ilan ang number of used test booklets, ang mga unused ilalagay din, serial numbers ng mga unused ilalagay, signature ng room examiner na nagsauli ng mga materials, initial of chief examiner kapag talagang planchado na lahat ng mga details and information for such materials, and then remarks kapag complete or may mga discrepancies. Yun. Form number 4, Chief Examiner's Report Form. Ito yung gagawin ngayon. Ito yung i-accomplish ni CE. Nakalagay naman dito lahat ng mga information of the examinees, ilan lahat ang male, ilan lahat ang female, na expected examinees, ilan din yung actual examinees. And then, of course, you have to deduct that number and then magbibigay sa atin ng absentees or sino yung ilang male at saka ilan yung female na hindi nakadalo sa exam. And then information of the test materials for the delivery, ito yon. Sufficiency, ilalagay dito. Kung kumpleto, ilalagay din kung ilan yung kulang. And then ilalagay kung ilan ang kailangan pa because nagkulang. And then ilalagay din ang room number with insufficiency. Halimbawa, for room number 1, kailangan nila ng 30. Tapos yung nakarating 28 lang, ilalagay dyan. Tapos anong number ng room yung nagkulang ng materials. And then for condition, Andyan din lahat ng mga columns, lahat ng mga information na kakailanganin. May mga test booklets ba or answer sheets na may mga misprints, yung mga blurry, yung hindi nababasa yung mga words sa loob ng kanilang mga test booklets, yung mga serial numbers na magkakapareho, yung mga serial numbers na blurred, yung mga serial numbers na or yung mga booklets or answer sheets na walang nakaprint na serial numbers. Dapat detalyadong mailagay yung details dito sa Chief Examiner's report form. Form 5, Test Booklet Quantity and Completeness Verification Sheet. So, ito yung Form 5 ng BEA. Dapat ilagay dito ilan yung mga test booklets na nakaulat sa kanilang testing center as indicated in the packing guide, including the buffer. No? So, ilalagay din natin dito, i-check lang natin itong corresponding box. Upon opening of boxes, are the test materials kung complete, check the box. Kung incomplete, dito din tayo mag-check. Kung may excess, example 30, pero yung nasa loob, upon counting, remember ha, dapat i-count yung mga materials bago natin i-open ang plastic bag. Okay? So kapag 30 yung nakalagay doon sa packing guide, tapos yung pagbilang natin nasa 32, so dito sa with excess yung i-check natin. If incomplete, ilan yung kulang? Mga serial numbers, ganyan. So maging sa post-test, always remember na kailangan nating pirmahan itong mga forms bago natin ilagay sa mga corresponding envelopes. Form 6, Answer Sheet Quantity and Completeness Verification Sheet. Pare-pareho lang din naman ang hinihinging mga details. Only kailangan nating ilagay ng tama ang mga details or information na kinakailangan. Kailangan visible or readable talaga yung mga yung pagkakasulat natin. Okay. And then form number 7, room examiner's report form. Yung kanina yung dalawang form 5 and 6 para sa chief examiner, ito namang form 7 para sa room examiner. So ito yung mga kakailangan ng details. Very self-explanatory naman to. So answer sheet and school header. Ito yung mukha ng answer sheet. Diba? Kaya nga sinabi kanina doon sa test booklet na kailangang maturuan, ma-orient, ma-remind natin kung paano i-accomplish ng ating mga examinees ang pagbablake ng mga circles corresponding the letters or the numbers. So pag last name, alam na nila yan, especially kapag nakatry na sila sa ganitong uri ng mga examinations. Ayan, LRN. Birth date. Ayan po. Again, remind them that the year should only be the last 2 digits of their birth year. No, baka kasi yung date saka yung year. Example, 2000 sila, 2000 yung ilalagay. The first 2 columns or boxes dyan ay para sa day ng birth date nila at the next 2 boxes are for the year. And then for their age, ayan. And then for the sex, dyan din po. For the school ID and region, ayan, and the division codes, ayan po. Certain, ano ba yung division code natin, certain? Ipipresent pala mamaya, okay. Community type, alam naman natin yan, kung ano yung urban saka rural. Okay, we can also share that to our examinees. And the number of class shifts kung meron. Type of school, ayan. May mga options naman, so let's just tell them. And then the class size, kung ilan lahat ang meron sa isang classroom. And then grades or repetition. Third quarter grades, so I hope may available na ito so that prior to or even prior to the day of the examination, may copies na ang ating mga examinees ng kanilang mga third quarter grades upang automatic during the filling up of this form, may mailagay na sila and then hindi na sila manghihingi pa or they'll spend time really asking for that. Then for this recipient, gasted grantee, IP group, special education needs, and then we have also here the examiner's descriptive questionnaire EDQ. So ayan. For Filipino, shade the corresponding options for the answers. Okay, ayan, until sa science. For English, and then examinee's signature. Always remind our examinees talagang isulat muna ang kanilang mga pangalan on that box saka pa sila magpipirma on top of their names. Kasi examinee signature over printed names. Ayan. And the name of the school and then address of the school. So if possible kasi malaki naman yung yung space na naka-provide, kindly ask them to write the complete name of the school. Kasi example lang, Kabata National High School, wag pong ilagay KNHS kasi marami, may Kumalarang National High School, may Kalian National High School, dapat complete name of the school. Answer sheet for NAT grade 10. Ayan, ito yung mukha ng front page at saka ng back page. School header, ito naman yon, yung school name and address of the school. At the upper part of this page, write the name and address of the school in the spaces provided. Ito yung region and division codes, ipe-present ito mamaya, so please take note. School type, public and private. Year school was established, dapat bigay din natin ito early sa ating mga examinees para hindi na sila magtatanong on the day of the examination. Average class size in grade 10, ilagay din dyan. Designation of school head, kung ang school head ng school ninyo ay principal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or TIC ba yan or HT ba, andyan naman yung mga options. Please clarify this with your examinees para alam at uniform ang mga sagot nila, baka magkakaiba. Okay, number of enrollees in grade 10, kung male ilan, kung female ilan, bigay din natin ng data na to sa ating mga examinees para may uniform po na sagot dito sa part ng ating questionnaire. Number of actual examinees, ito din. This will be for our mga examiners na. School location, ayan. Other school classifications, ayan din. School sponsorship, community type, school facilities and resources. Educational attainment of school head, ayan din. May mga options naman, so perhaps you have also to, if hindi nyo pa alam, tanong nyo na sa schools niyo kung ano yung highest educational attainment niya. Years in service ng school head, pakilagay na din. Total number of grade 10 teachers in school. Ayan po. Number of grade 10 teachers graduate of a doctorate degree. Remember, grade 10 teachers lang po. Okay, so tanong niyo na din kung ilan sa kanila ang naka-graduate na ng kanilang mga doctor's degree or doctorate degree. Ilan din sa kanila ang naka-master's degree. Huwag na pong ulitin. Kapag naka-graduate na, kung ang teacher na to ay naka-graduate na ng doctor's degree, doon siya bibilangin sa doctor's degree. Huwag na siyang bilangin ulit sa master's degree. So, ibig sabihin, this refers to the highest educational attainment na po ng ating mga teachers. And then number of grade 10 teachers with more than 7 years of teaching experience. Okay, so let's clarify this part. With a total number of grade 10 teachers with more than 7 years of teaching in any grade level. Okay, so wag pong isipin na grade 10 teachers serving grade 10 din for 7 years. Hindi, in any grade level po, as long as nagtiteach na po sila in the public school. Grade 10, teachers lang po ang bibilangin natin. Okay, so do you have learners with disabilities enrolled in grade 10? Kung meron, maglagay ng number. Kung wala, leave blank. I-shade lang yung no and then wag nang mag-shade ng mga sa numbers kasi if yes lang yan. Which of the following describes your teachers in grade 10? Ito na yung mga bata. Siguro alam na nila kasi grade 10 naman sila. So alam na siguro nila kung paano nila i-describe yung teacher nila sa grade 10. How do you support your grade 10 teacher sa psycho-emotional and social? Perhaps yung mga students natin will understand these statements. I hope naman walang mga mga negative statements for our teachers. Wala naman siguro. All right, on which areas do your teachers in grade 10 needs further training assistance? So, ewan ko lang talaga kung alam ng mga grade 10 natin kung paano i-identify yung mga training needs ng ating mga teachers. So, basta, may mga options naman, and then they will just have to blacken this out. And then, are grade 10 learning resource sufficient in your school? Magiging honest sila sa pagsasagot kung complete ba yung mga teacher's guides, learner's materials, and textbooks. Magsishade sila dyan. Ito ng mga LARDOS, mga SARDOS, yung mga student at risk of dropping out, or learners at risk of dropping out in general. So, yan, magsishade din sila dyan. Ito yung school header for NAT grade 10 school year 2022-2023, the front and the back page. Yan. And for the programs of, hindi na to kasali. Okay na. So, I guess that's all, Ma'am Kat. Ma'am Kat, baka tumabok na ako sa kabilang session. Bago ko pala i-end yung part ko, ay may nagpapabati pala, Dinas National High School by Sir Bayan. Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat dyan. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Bry. I thought you will be until 6 p.m. Okay. I also would like to make a shout out to the participants from Paulino Dari National High School who are now currently at the district office. TV talaga yung ginamit nila for this orientation. Shout out to our PSDS, Ma'am Tess Abad, to the principal, Sir Jun Paitan, and of course to my sister, Francis May Nabasca Ellis. Thank you so much for watching and for joining this orientation. Okay, let's proceed to the next topic, and this will be discussed by our, that's my, how do you call him? That's my boy. The SEPs for school management monitoring and evaluation, Sir J. Freaks, Kilo Katakutan. Go ahead, Sir J.
Thank you, Ma'am Kat. Good afternoon once again, everyone. Please allow me to share my screen first. Sir John, paki-share po ng aking screen. Okay. Thank you, Sir John. Thank you so much for the time that has been given to me for the walkthrough of the guidelines on the NAT grade 10 allocation. So we will have a walkthrough on the selection of the participants to this grade 10 National Achievement Test allocation. Okay, so the sampling design that is being used by the central office is through clustering. So we have 6 clusters: cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3, cluster 4, cluster 5, and cluster 6. So for cluster 1, we have the number of examinees 400 and above, and then for cluster 2, we have 200 to 399. For cluster 3, 100 to 199, and cluster 4, 55 to 99, and cluster 5, 20 to 54 examinees, and finally for cluster 6, we have 19 and below. But only schools belonging to clusters 1 to 4 shall follow the selection guidelines in selecting the sample grade 10 learners. So sila lang po yung gagamit ng formula mamaya na ipapakita natin for the sampling of grade 10 learners po. So for the first step, we have to the school testing coordinators or the school heads will prepare a list of grade 10 learners for school year 2022-2023 using Microsoft Excel. So the following information must be found in the template that will be used. First is the last name, first name, and middle initial of the learner. And then we have the LRN, the section or the class section, the sex, male or female, beneficiary of financial aid, whether if yes, for example, for peace recipients, for public schools learners, and then for private schools, we have ESC or Education Service Contracting. So if beneficiary po yung learner natin of those financial aid, then maglalagay po tayo dun sa column assigned for that column. Yes, no? Then there will be another column for the type of financial aid the learner is receiving, no? So the list should look like this. Yung first column, we have the last name. The second column, the first name. And then the third column is for middle initial, then the LRN, the class section, sex, and then beneficiary of financial aid. Yun po yung sinasabi ko. Ngayon lang, yes or no ang answer dyan. And then financial aid, type of financial aid that learner is receiving. Then after we have prepared the list, we will select all the columns for the Excel file, the sheet that we are working on, from the last name to down to the financial aid column, and then down to the last row kung saan po mayroon tayong data ng learner na nakalagay, no? So it should look like this one, no? Pag naka-select po siya, naka-highlight po lahat ng cells diyan from column A to column H, and then from row 1 up to the final row kung saan po merong name, mayroong data ng learner po, no? And then again, no, first we have to prepare the list containing the following information. Then after we have prepared the list, then we will select all the information that is being encoded into the sheet or the worksheet sa Excel natin. And the next step is we will sort and filter the data, no? We will sort it by the following data na dayon, no? We have first is we will sort it by class section, meaning nakasort siya by section ng by sectioning po. And then next is by sex, and then next is by last name, and then finally by beneficiary of financial aid, no? So paano po naglagay diyan, no? Una, click po natin yung sort and filter button. Sort and filter button, nandun po yan sa home tab ng ating Excel, no? Excel na Microsoft Excel application po. So home tab. And then after clicking the sort and filter button, click po natin yung custom sort. So may lalabas po na menu dyan. Select lang po natin yung custom sort po. Yan po, no? So first, yung sort and filter button, and then next is the custom sort button. So lalabas po yung may window po na lalabas, no, to further refine the sorting of the data ng learners natin. So unang-una, may lalabas diyan na row, no? Sort by. So pipili po kayo ng column diyan doon sa ating Excel file, no? So we have the first is the class section. Wag po nating galawin yung mga sort on and then order. Okay na po yan. Naka-default po yan, no? And then make sure na yung naka-check po yung my data has headers. Okay? So, you have to select first, sort by class section. And then, paano naglagay dyan ng additional? Click nyo po yung add level sa taas. Okay? Pag-click nyo po ng add level sa taas, then lalabas po yung dito sa baba, then by. So una, sort by class section, then by sex, then add na naman tayo ng level, then by last name, then by beneficiary of financial aid. So, default po yung values dyan. And then after po, maklik ng final yung drop-down menu ng beneficiary of financial aid, then you will click OK. So, ang kalalabasan po niyan is this one. So, nakasort na po siya, naka-arrange po siya alphabetically by last name, and then by section, and then by sex, and then by beneficiary of financial aid, no? Nakasort siya from no to yes, no? So from female to male kasi alphabetical 'yan eh. F and then M, no? So female to male po ang sorting diyan. So after po masort 'yan, then you will have to refer to Annex A for the allocation of grade 10 learners that will take the NAT grade 10 in your school, no, in your respective schools. So as provided by DepEd, no, it will be prepared by DepEd and distributed to the regional testing coordinators, and the list will also be provided by the RTCs to the division testing coordinators, and then it will be given to the school heads or school testing coordinators. And then titignan po ninyo doon sa list kung ilan po yung allocation ng school ninyo, no? So sa list po, ito po yung itsura, and then mayroon pong ID, and then school name, municipality, and then sa final column dyan, so rightmost column, meron pong allocation. So ito po yung allocation, ito lang po yung number of examinees that will take the grade 10 NAT sa school, no, specific school na nakalagay dyan. So pag na-obtain na po yan, pag meron na po yan, then we will use this formula, no? We will compute the sampling interval using the formula. K is equal to open bracket N, capital N, which stands for the total number of grade 10 learners in the school, divided by the small n, or the allocation of grade 10 learners in the school based on the Annex A or the list that will be provided to you. So take note that the open and close bracket will make the decimal or disregard the decimal values of the computed value. So yan po yung example dyan sa baba, no? So if n divided by small n is equals to 9.1, then you will round it off to 9, no? Kung 3.8 naman, then the value for that is 3 kasi hindi naman pwedeng may decimal point yung computed value natin kasi we're talking about the number of learners who will take the test po. So, example po, yan. No? Or suppose the allocation for grade 10 learners in the school is 56, and then yung total number po, yung kakabuoang number ng learners po ng grade 10 sa school is 200. So, ganito po yung pag-calculate, no? So, K is equals to 200 divided by 56. Yun po yung sampling interval natin, yung number K is equals to 3. So, once na-obtain na po yung K natin, then this will represent the sampling interval. So, pag halimbawa 3, yung sampling interval natin is by 3 po, no? So, it will represent the sampling interval in choosing the learners who will take the test. No? So, based on the list, the school head may randomly start choosing from 1 to K. So, example, yung K natin is 3. So, from student 1 to 3, yan po yung pipili po si school head doon kung saan siya magsisimula. If the value for K is 3. So, kung 9 naman, halimbawa doon sa example, so based on the list, si school head or si school testing coordinator may randomly start from choosing from learner number 1 up to 9, no? So yan po yung sampling interval natin. So, for example, if yung K po natin is equal to 3, so magpipili po si school testing coordinator, si school head, kung saan siya magsisimula. Halimbawa sa first learner or sa second learner or sa third learner. So halimbawa, magsisimula tayo ng counting from the second learner, which is in this example si Agustin Billy. So diyan po magsisimula yung magsisimula yung pagbibilang natin ng interval of 3. So that means that the first examinee in the school in the second is the second learner in the list. So siya po yung pinakauna sa examinee natin na list, no? So si Agustin Billy. So from Agustin Billy, no? Yan po yung R natin. So yan po yung number 1 sa list ng ating examinee. So siya po, once na-determine na po yung R, then the next sampled learner shall have an interval of K. Meaning ano po yung K natin? That is 3. So the next sampled learner shall have an interval of 3 until it reaches the assigned allocation based on Annex A. So in this example, 56 po yung 56 learners or examinees po yung allocated sa school. So simula doon sa kay Agustin Billy hanggang aabot po ng 56 yung number of examinees na mapipili po natin, no? So that is on the next step, no? Step 15. Example po. Since kanina we opted to start on the second learner on the list, no? That is the in the name of Agustin Billy. So diyan po tayo magsisimulang magka-count ng 3. So sa second examinee po natin is from Agustin, bibilang po tayo ng 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, pagka the next number 1 po, yan po si second examinee natin. So selected after an interval of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 1. So balik naman po tayo doon sa number 1. Si number 1 na naman po, yun naman po yung pipiliin natin na learner. No? Then, the next, we will select the third learner na naman from David. Magbilang tayo ng 3, no? So 1, 2, 3. And then 1. Pagbalik natin sa 1, yan na naman po yung learner na pipiliin natin. Actually, yan po yung mano-manong count, no, ng learners natin. So sa orientation, yan po yung ginagawa, no. Magse-select ng pangalan manually. So mamaya may ituturo po akong pwede nating sigurong gamitin. Halimbawa pag medyo marami na po yung estudyante na kailangan nating sample, no? So after po ma-select lahat yan, halimbawa up to 56 po, kailangan meron na naman tayong bagong list, no? A list of sampled learners shall be prepared containing again the following information. So last name, learner's reference number, the class section, the sex, the beneficiary of financial aid, and then the type of financial aid the learner is receiving. So the same data lang po, no? Actually the same data lang po. So once mapili na po lahat yung learners na allocated, number of learners with the learners na allocated po sa school ninyo, ito na po, ita-transfer po natin siya into another list, no? The same data na kailangan, ita-transfer lang po natin siya into another list. So it should look like this one po, no? So from number 15 up to 24, if nakita po ninyo, just to ano lang po, hindi po yan, parang pinapakita lang po yan na hindi siya nakasort talaga siya, no? Nakasample talaga siya by 3, no? So until na-meet yung allocation natin na 56 sa school, hindi po tayo maghihinto doon, no? So halimbawa, natapos na po natin doon nandun na po tayo sa pinaka-last na learner, and then hindi pa umabot ng 56, balik na naman po tayo doon sa taas, no? Balik na naman po tayo doon sa taas kasi may mga learners pa po tayo na hindi nakasali sa sampling po natin, no? So pag naubos na po yung learners, balik naman po tayo again po sa taas, no? So magbibilang na naman po tayo ng 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 learners minus po yung mga na select na po in intervals natin in intervals of 3 po natin. So as what I have said, we have to finalize the actual list of examinees. So we have to transfer the data of the learners na sample po natin as examinees po for the said test, no? So the same template po yan. Then we will again sort and filter. Sort and filter meaning isusort po natin yan based po sa last name ng ating examinee. So the same data nandun po sa list natin, in Excel pa rin po, wag po nating i-transfer sa ibang Microsoft productivity tool. Sa Excel lang po tayo, no? Then sort po natin. This time hindi na po natin i-click yung custom sort. So again, hindi na po natin i-click yung custom sort. Ang gagawin po natin, we will select all the columns from last name, column A up to H, and then from row 1 up to the last row kung saan po merong data ng learner natin. So select po natin lahat ng cells na may data from A1 up to H down po sa last row natin, no? Then after po ma-select yan, click po natin yung sort and filter. Sa sort and filter, nandun po yan sa home tab ng ating Microsoft Excel application. And then pag-click po dyan, lalabas po yung again yung menu. Huwag na po natin i-click yung custom sort. Click na po natin yung sort A to Z. A to Z. Sort A to Z. Meaning, magsusort po siya alphabetically from A to Z based po sa last name na po yan. So last name na po regardless of the class and other details po dyan. So ito na po yung basihan niya, no? From A to Z ang sorting dyan po. So finally, if na-prepare na po yung list of actual examinees, then the school head or the school testing coordinator will submit the list to the division testing coordinator for consolidation, and then the consolidated final list of actual examinees in each school shall also be prepared by the division testing coordinator and also will be forwarded to the RTC. So let me show you an example po on how it is done using the Excel, Microsoft Excel productivity tool po in a while. Okay. So Sir Jan, nakikita na po ba yung sample ng NAT allocation ko? Sige po. So ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina na meron po tayong gagawin para hindi po tayo manually magbibilang po halimbawa in interval of 3. So in this example, ifa-follow po din natin yung interval of 3, no? K to 3. So ang manually gagawin po natin, pipili po tayo ng halimbawa no ng learner from Anduhar to Kalakala kasi yung interval natin is 3. So dito lang po tayo pipili kung saan tayo magpi-pick up ng R natin or kung saan po yung first learner in the list natin no as examinee. So in this example, dito ako sa third student no. So from Anduhar doon ako kay Kalakala. So ang ginawa ko po, meron po tayong inad na column dyan, labels. Lalagyan po natin ng labels yan. So since yung interval natin is 3 lang po, interval of 3. So magsisimula ako kay Kalakala. So column A, row number 4. So column A, row number 4. Yan po yung naka-highlight, no? A and then 4. Okay? So, dyan po ako magta-type ng number 1. Then, 2 and 3. Dito po sa baba, column A and row 7, ang ilalagay na po natin dyan para halimbawa po ha, pag marami po kayong learners dyan, no? Maraming learners dyan from example 200. But in this example, meron lang po tayong 61 learners, no? 62 po ang nakalagay dyan, ang may data dyan up to row 62 po kasi yung first column natin is yung header po, no? So, naglagay po ako ng again last column labels 1, 2, 3. After the third number, type lang po natin ng equals and then ito po I4. Okay? Again po, equals and then click lang po natin yung number 1 sa taas. And then enter. Then yan po, lalabas na yung number 1. Para automatic po yan, automatic po na magna-number yan 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 dyan. No? Ang gagawin natin, makikita ninyo dyan sa yan po ha, yung number 1. Sa lower right corner po, no? Meron pong parang square dyan na maliit, no? Zoom ko po. Yan. No? So, itatapat nyo lang po yung cursor nyo dyan and then mag-change po siya into yan, black cross. Okay? Small black cross po. If you, I hope nakikita po ninyo dyan sa screen ninyo. No? So, after that, pag ma-convert, pag mag-change na po yung cursor natin, no? I mean yung arrow, mouse pointer, no? From white wide cross, magiging black narrow cross po siya. Hindi po itong ganito ha. Hindi po yung, dapat mawawala po yung mouse pointer natin na puti. Ayan po. Yan. So, pag natapat na po dyan, then nag-convert na po siya into black thin cross. No? Double click lang po natin. Double click. Left click po. So, left click, nasa left po. Mouse button. Okay? So, yan. Double click. Yan. Automatic. Magsi-sequence po siya. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Until po lahat, until po kung saan mayroong final list or mayroong data na row ng cell natin or ng Excel sheet natin. No? So, automatic po yan. Okay? So, ang gagawin, since ang sampling natin is, ang K po natin is 3. Yung learner po natin kasi is 61. So, ang allocation po nito is, if you are going to compute, nasa 20 po. No? Yung 20 examinees. So, if in this particular example, meron tayong 61 learners, total learners po sa school, and then yung allocation lang po is 20. So, kukunin po natin dyan yung 20 examinees po. But before that, i-highlight pa pala natin. So meron tayong list, no? Highlight natin lahat ng data. Remember that yung i-highlight lang po natin is from last name up to financial aid, then down to the last data ng learner natin, no? So highlight lang siya. Okay? So highlight. Halimbawa, pag mahaba na po yung list niyo diyan, actually, bago po natin ilagay yung labels, dapat isusort na po natin siya, no? So huling step na po to yung paglalagay ng labels natin. So halimbawa, wala pa yung labels, pwede niyo i-click yung column A, row 1, then control A. It will automatically select po all the data, no? Minus the labels po. Yan. No? So okay, balik ko po. Yan. Then again, what we are going to do is sort and filter. So yung unang sort and filter natin, doon po tayo sa custom sort, right? So nandito po tayo sa home tab. If you notice sa taas, no? My file, my home, my insert, page layout, so on and so forth. So dito lang po tayo sa home, and then sort and filter. Doon po sa rightmost part ng ribbon natin. Ribbon po yung tawag dyan sa taas. Okay? Then click custom sort. Then lalabas po yung window na ito, no? So sort by, ano po yung una? Class section. Okay? Ang una po is class section, and then next is sex. So add level po tayo sa taas, add level. Then sex. Then we have add level po, last name, and then finally we have beneficiary. Yan po. No? So click nyo lang po yung parang arrow down to select options po dyan. Okay. After that, click OK. So if you notice, naka-sort na po siya by section, starting with section Edison, and then Galilee, Newton, and then Pasteur. And then by sex po yan, female yung nauuna, male din yung next po niya. Then, by beneficiary, by last name, and then by beneficiary. Yan po. So, that is how you select po do the custom filtering, sorting and filtering of the data of the learners, no? So by the way, I emphasized kanina na dapat naka-check po yung my data has headers, kasi pag hindi po naka-check yan, isasali po niya yung header natin sa taas, yung last name, first name, and so on and so forth. So dapat naka-ano lang po, no? Para hindi masali sa filtering and sorting yung headers natin. Okay? Then after dyan, we have now the list na, no? Lahat po ng learners yan sa school. Then we already did, no? Initially the computation for our sample interval, and then we determined also we now determined that our interval is by 3, and then yung starting learner natin o yung R natin is on the third learner. So dyan po nagsisimula yung levels natin. So after nakasort po yan, mag-add lang po kayo ng tawag dito ng column dyan na labels, no? Yan po. Then if you notice, meron po yung naka-arrow down dyan. So yan po yung filter button, no? So, halimbawa, by default, wala po yan, no? Hindi po yan nakalabas. So ilalabas lang po natin yan once we completed all the steps, no? Step from step step 1 up to step uh, step step 27. No, step 16, sorry. Step 16 po. So up to step 16, from step 1 up to step 16. So ilalabas na po natin yung filtering button po natin, yung tawag po diyan. Ito lang po. I-click natin, no? So click again, sort and filter, and then filter. Lalabas po yung filter button natin. So ang gagawin, i-filter lang po natin lahat ng number 1 dyan sa labels column. So dito po tayo mag-filter sa labels column. Yan po. Deselect nyo lang po muna, i-uncheck po muna yung select all, and then click number 1. Dapat yung number 1 lang po yung nakaselect dyan. And then, okay. Yan po. Yan na po yung list ng examinees, I mean yung actual examinees natin for the NAT grade 10, no? So ang gagawin, transfer lang po natin siya in another file. So example, yan po, no? Transfer lang po natin siya. Okay. Example, we are opening another file and then renaming it to NAT examinees. Dayon, pagkahuman, file name po natin dyan, final list of examinees. Ita-transfer lang po natin yan. Copy po natin yan. Select from column A up to H. Wag na po natin isali yung labels, ha. So from last name to financial aid lang po. And then Control C. So, then transfer po natin sa ibang file. Blanco po yan. So ang gagawin, Control V. Yan na po. So yan na po yung final list ng ating examinees. So again, yan na po yung final list, but we have to filter it again based on the last name po nila. So select po yan, and then sort and filter, and then sort A to Z. Yan. So naka-alphabetical order na po yan based sa kanilang last name from A up to V. So ang count po ng ating learners ay 20 lang po. Yan sa baba. Number of selected learners, yan po, 20. So na-meet po natin yung nakuha po natin yung allocation, hindi na po natin binalik doon sa taas kasi sobra-sobra naman po yung learners natin, no? So pag ganito po, ang gagawin, pag babalik po naman kayo sa dati, no? I mean sa taas, you have to extract the learners diyan po, yung nakuha na po natin na sample, i-extract po natin dyan para hindi na po masali sa pagka-count ng intervals natin pagbalik po doon sa taas, no? So the same procedure po, 1, 2, 3, yung counting if yung interval po natin is from 3 po, no? So yun po, that is how you do the allocation or the sampling of the actual examinees for the conduct of the National Achievement Test for grade 10. So, going back to the presentation, we have the following para po guided tayo sa ating guided po tayo sa division codes natin, no? So we have here the division codes for the division for the Zamboanga Region 9 Zamboanga Peninsula. Yung po sa atin sa Zamboanga del Sur is J07 po. J07 po. Sorry, J07. Yan po yung division code natin. So if may tanong po kayo tungkol doon sa pag-sort and filter and allocate ng learners po natin, you can ask your question during our open forum po mamaya. no? So that would be all for the allocation guidelines for the allocation of the examinees for the conduct of the NAT grade 10. And before I end, let me flash on the screen the end of program online evaluation link for this today's virtual activity. So that is now the uh, link for the online evaluation for this virtual activity. bit.ly/ZDS underscore NAT 10 underscore 2023 underscore capital E, small letter O, and capital P. Yan po yung link. And we will also um, post it on the Q&A portion po para copy-paste na lang po kayo mamaya sa link. So once again, good afternoon and thank you for your attention and thank you for listening po. God bless po.
All right, thank you so much, Sir J. Freaks Katakutan. We are almost done with our orientation po, ladies and gentlemen. At this juncture, for giving us thorough discussion about the program support funds, please help me back on screen our division testing coordinator, Sir Ton Ganub. Sir Ton?
Am I projecting? Yes. Okay, so thank you again, Ma'am Kat, for giving me back the time to continue with my presentation. And now, I think this would be the last topic that we have for this afternoon. I just would like to inform everyone about the support funds that will be provided to us by the central office relevant to the conduct of this NAT grade 10 on June 27. Okay, so the allotment is a subsidy. No, the PSF or the program support funds. This is an allotment that will serve as subsidy for the data collection in schools on the administration of NAT grade 10. The program support funds is intended for the transportation allowance of the test materials. Remember, transportation allowance of the test materials and the orientation allowance. So we have this orientation allowance and transportation allowance. So the question is magkano? So these are now the breakdown. No, the test materials housed by the SDO shall be transported to the schools that will serve as testing centers and vice versa. So take note of this amount, and this amount are the same amount that has been downloaded to your ATMs in the previous assessments that we had. For the schools division office to testing centers, uniform ang amount. From the SDO to the testing center, and this would cover the delivery of the test materials. The amount is intended for the delivery is only 150 pesos. So pagbalik naman, from testing centers to schools division office, pagbalik is also 150 pesos. So to sum it up, for the transportation allowance of test materials, the total pakuha at saka pabalik sa materials is only 300 pesos. Nothing more, nothing less. That is for transportation allowance of test materials. In the previous assessments that we have downloaded the same amount, and this amount is directly downloaded to your ATMs. Walang cash na ibinigay. Ang pera na 300 for test materials are downloaded to your ATM. For orientation allowance, so yun na isa, no? Ang transportation of materials total of 300. So the orientation allowance, ang mga taong entitled for this orientation allowance is the SDS, 800. Division testing coordinators, 800. Private school supervisors, 800. Support staff, 800. And school heads or school testing coordinators, 800. So listen ha, it is either the school head or the school testing coordinator. Hindi sinasabi dito na school heads and school testing coordinator, but it is clearly stated here, school heads or. So either kung sino magpunta dito, magkuha sa test materials, ang mabigyan ng 800. Or sinong nag-join? Sino nag-join ng orientation allowance ngayon? Ang nag-join ngayon, ang siyang mabigyan ng 800. But usually, we are downloading this amount 800 as orientation allowance to the school head. Ang school head ang binigyan namin. So, these are the people entitled for this orientation allowance, and the allowance is only 800. So, if you have to sum it up, ang orientation allowance is 800. The transportation allowance for test materials is 300. The total amount is only 1,100. So remember, we are downloading this amount to your ATM, directly to your ATM. Since your account number is available at the cashier section, and they are responsible for downloading the 1,100 for this for any assessments no conducted by this SDO. Okay. So we have this main survey budget estimate. For NAT grade 10, the schools division office to testing center is 150. So testing center to the SDO pagbalik ng mga materials 150. Orientation allowance, no, this is mentioned in the previous slide, 800. And these are the people who are entitled for this orientation allowance. The SDS, the DTC, the private school supervisor, support staff, and school heads. Okay, klaro na diri ha? School heads. So we are downloading this 800 orientation allowance plus 300 transportation for test materials with a total 1,100 to the account of the school heads, to the account of support staff for 800, to the account of the private school supervisor 800, to the account of the DTC again 800, and SDS 800. So these are the amount that the central office provided to us relevant to the conduct of NAT grade 10 for 2023. Okay, so yun na no. So we also have this contingency 10% of the subtotal, but we are prioritizing the allocation of this 800 to all the personnel who have contributed efforts relevant to the successful conduct of the test. The total estimated funding requirements is total main survey budget estimate plus contingency of 10%. The contingency may be used or not limited to pay the miscellaneous expenses such as additional travel allowance to some schools, supplies and materials, and communication expenses. So communication expenses. So the downloading of PSF shall be by region. So it will be downloaded to the region, and the region will forward this as sub-arrow to our SDO. The breakdown of funding requirements will be emailed to the regional directors once approved by the Office of the Undersecretary for Finance. If in case there will be an excess allotment or excess in the allotment downloaded to the SDO, the said amount may be used, no? Should there be an implementation of this year of other national assessment system for basic education or NASB program. So pag may excess amount from the sub-arrow that you will receive as PSF for this activity, gagamitin ang amount na yan for other implementation of other NASB programs. So, klaro. So, ito yung sinasabi ni Sir Jeffrix kanina na Annex A. So, don't worry because we will also be, we will include this Annex A in the orientation materials for you to be guided on how many examinations should you prepare in your respective schools. So hindi siya magkulang ng materials kasi estimated na yan sa central office kung ilan lang yung sampled examinees in your respective schools. So I have to read this, no? For Aurora Baptist Christian Academy School, ang expected examinees in their school is only 2. So how to get these 2? Paano yan makuha? Gagamit na, ang school ay gagamit na ng formula that has been introduced and explained by Sir J. Fricks before me. So makuha na yan 2. So ang 2 na yan, ang allocation, yun na yung data sa small n. Data sa small n kanina. Tapos ang capital na N is would represent to the total number of grade 10 in your respective school. So I hope that you are guided with that. So for Buburay National High School, this is public school in the Mataling, love, Briswengs. In Buburay National High School, the allocation of materials for that school is 9. No, 9. So, ang Ginikulalay National High School, also 9. So, ito yung mga small n. So, ipag-compute na, malaman yan, alam na ninyo, I suppose that you are already, you're already getting the knowledge or the process on how to arrive with the interval. Basta, ang alam natin ngayon, in this presentation, you should know what is the allocation for your school, no? Allocation. For Pungapong National High School 9, Tabuan National High School 9, Guling National High School 10, Karpok National High School 10, Guliktop National High School 10, Midsalip National High School Bulawan Extension 10, Matalang National High School 10, Fatima National High School San Miguel 10, Kauswaga National High School 11, Balukbahan National High School 11, Libertad National High School 11. Distribute na yan. President Garcia Memorial Institute of Technology 11, Bibilik National High School 11, Bokong National High School 11, Tawagan Norte National High School 11, Langapod Integrated School 12, Tiguha National High School 12, Bulawan National High School Lapuyan 12, Sumalig National High School 12, Binuay National High School 13, Proper Dimaya National High School 13, Maria Clara National High School 13. So ito na kaya sinabing sampled examinees. Kasi ito lang yung magti-take ng inyong school out of the enrollment that you have at present, no? So for Parasa National High School 13, Simata National High School 13, Tambulig National High School Lower Tiparak 13, Lintugop National High School 14, Sagakad National High School 14, Maruwing National High School 14, Eugenia Andrin National High School 14, Lantunga National High School 15, Bubua National High School 15, Dulop National High School 15, Daniel C. Mantos National High School 15, sa Paanding Agricultural Vocational Technical School 15, Tigbao National High School 15, Western Mindanao Academy Elementary Department 16, Balungating National High School 16, Picana National High School 16, Vicenta Inerio National High School 16, Immaculate Conception High School 16, Santa Teresita Academy 17, Ligarda Dos National High School 17, Nilo National High School 17, Judge Edmundo Pinga National High School 17, Cogo National High School 17, Bonyao National High School 18, Zamboanga del Sur for Arts 19, Lapirian National High School 19, J.H. Canuto MS Inerio Campus 20, San Jose National High School 20, Potenciano Solon Bandulon Memorial National High School 20, Kamalig National High School 21, Panubigan National High School 21, Antonio National High School 21, Aurora Pioneers Memorial College 22, Dulup National High School, Bagong Valencia Extension 22, Kugunan Integrated School 22, Sacred Heart Kindergarten School 22, Esperanza Suites National High School 22, Baganya National High School 22, Tingabulong National High School 23, Maestro Cornelio 23, Tabina National High School 23, Commonwealth 24, Supo National High School 24, Dimataling National High School 24, Ribocon AV Agricultural Vocational High School 24, Globe Integrated School 24, San Pablo Sakbulan Extension 24, Ginikulalay Tarakan Extension 25, Margo sa Tubig Academy 25, Blancia College Foundation 25, St. Andrews Academy 25, Kulabay National High School 25, Dinas National High School 26, Maralag National High School 26, Holy Family High School 27, San Jose Academy 28, Dawa National High School 28, St. Ambrose High School 28, Baluno National High School 29, Paraiso National High School, formerly Panagaan National High School, Paraiso Extension 29, Bagong Kauswagan National High School 29, Laureano Salusod 30, Leonardo National High School 30, Poblacion Comprehensive 30, Paulino Dari Punta Fletcha Extension 30, Bugayo National High School 31, sa Paanding RM Extension 32, Dawa National High School 32, Navala National High School 32, New Labangan National High School 33, Dumalinaw National High School 34, Digo National High School 34, Betina National High School 34, San Isidro National High School 34, Dipasi National High School 35, Old Mirapaw National High School 35, Kalia National High School 35, Kabata National High School 35, Micolong National High School 36, Salagmanok National High School 36, Alhadita Mindanao College 36, Bagong Kahayag National High School 38. Holy Trinity High School 38, San Pablo National High School 38, Libayoy National High School 38, Tukuran TVHS Baklay Extension 38, GHCSC Dumingag High School Department 39, Concepcion National High School Tultulan Annex 39, Juan Lumusad Memorial High School 40, Ignacio Garata National High School 40, Labangon Subanan Agricultural National High School 40, Pax High School 40, Toribio Minor National High School 40, Purgosatubig Friendship School of Arts and Trades 41, Hirons College Philippines Incorporated 41, Salawaga National High School 42, Lukuban National High School 42, Lourdes Academy 42, Suminot National High School 42, Monte Alegre National High School 43, Damit National High School 46, Paquito SU 46, Bokong National High School Tabak 46, Payag National High School 46, Immaculate Heart Academy 47, Lapuya National High School 47, Diosdado Macapagal Memorial National High School 48, Pisumpungan Integrated School 48, Concepcion National High School 49, Gubaan National High School 50, Tinat National High School 50, GHCSC High School Laboratory San Miguel 51, Bululawan National High School 51, Saguka National High School 51, Sikatuna National High School 52, Santa Maria Goretti Diocesan School Incorporated 52, Tinyapa National High School 52, Tandukbuay National High School 52, Tambulig National High School 52, Star of the Sea High School 52, Gipos National High School 53, Malim National High School 53, Balintawak National High School 54, Mahayag School of Arts and Trade 58, Bayog National Technical Vocational High School 59, Midsalip National High School, Main, 65. Aurora National High School, 79. Tukuran Technical Vocational High School, 91. Dumingag National High School, 109. Mulavi Vocational Technical School, 139. So, those are the schools, no, identified schools from the central office and its corresponding allocation of test materials and sampled examinees to take the NAT grade 10 for 2023. So since Sir J. Fricks explained on how to get the sampled examinees for grade 10, and after done with the computation using the formula presented by Sir J. Fricks, this is the link, no? This is the link that you should upload your final sampled list of examinees by school. Ang 54 below, yung cluster na present kanina, yung ang enrollment na 54 and below, hindi na mag-compute number of examinees, no? Total examinees sa school na 54 below, they will no longer use the formula. Hindi na sila mag-compute. So after done with the final sample list of examinees, i-upload ka agad sa Google Drive link that I presented now. Kindly do screenshot for you to be guided on the link where you can upload the sample list of examinees per school to join with the 2023 NAT grade 10. The deadline for uploading your sampled list of examinees shall be on Friday, June 16, 2023, since this final list will still be forwarded to the region. Again, the deadline shall be on June 16, since it shall still be consolidated by the division, and the division will still forward the final list to the regional office. So I hope that you are all guided on what to do. You are already taught how to do the computation of the formula if in case your school belongs to the cluster 1 to 4. So that was presented. So we will be providing you with the soft copy of the orientation materials to include this Annex A, so that you will be guided on how many test materials or what number of examinees is your school being given the allocation. So I hope that everything is clear, and we will now start to answer queries that is being written in the chat box. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Ton. That was loud and clear. I think um, it will now be the time for our open forums. If you have queries, clarifications, questions, you may take the floor. Okay, so are they going to chat, Sir Ton, the queries? Okay po, please use our chat box po if you have questions.
Hmm?
Sir John Ray, are you still with us? Please monitor our chat box. Thank you, Sir John. Because as of the moment, I haven't seen anybody typing. All right, if you have queries po, please use our chat box. Our facilitators are very much willing to answer your questions. Okay, so we will ask Sir Ton if pwede i-copy ang link. Itaas daw kaayo. I-copy na lang sa atong chat box. Okay po. Yes. Thank you, Sir Ton.
Hello, good afternoon. Meron pong nagtanong doon sa Q&A. What if the enrollees of our grade 10 does not reach the examinee allocation? Kung ano lang po yung actual na enrollment, yun po yung susundin po kasi yun naman po yung halimbawa siguro pag-identify, actually yung pag-identify na pag-allocate ng BEA for the examinees is actually based on the data enrollment data of the school. So if ever ang data ng BEA is earlier and then ngayon po konti na lang yung grade 10 ng school. So yung mag-prevail po yung actual enrollment po ng grade 10 sa school po. Thank you.
All right, to everyone who are asking for the soft copies of the presentations, we will be giving it to our PSDSS na lang po. Soft copies will be given to the PSDSS. All right. Wala na bang ibang tanong dyan? Any questions? With regards to our soft copies, we will just give them to the PSDSS po, to your PSDSS. Another shout out to our good friend from Dinas National High School, Master Teacher Mohammed Rindo. Again, I am announcing that the soft copies of the presentations for this afternoon will be given to the PSDSS. Sa ilaha na lang ninyo kuhaon ang copy po. Thank you. I think that would be all. Sir Ton, do you have additional input, Sir Ton? Okay, thank you everyone for your undivided attention. Thank you for joining this orientation. Thank you, facilitators, Sir Tony, Sir Brian, Sir J. Fricks, and of course, we would like to say thank you to our top management for the all-out support. God bless you all. Good luck on the coming exam. Bye! Sure sa sure. Thank you, Sir John Ray.
Allocation per school is that the total number of takers in the school. Yung discussion ko po on the allocation, no, guidelines on the allocation. Yun pong allocation na tinutukoy doon is the number of examinees or test takers po na naka-allocate sa school. Again, the allocation that I have discussed this afternoon is yun po yung pertaining to the number of examinees or test takers allocated by BEA sa school po ninyo. Thank you po and good afternoon once again.